stop. She don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while it's still too hot. Lakeyshakeysha, queen of the plot. Hit that bell, cause the tea don't stop. She don't miss nothing, got the scoop on lock. Spilling all the tea while
Hey guys, good morning. Good morning. I started early with this live because I have a big one coming later on, y'all. And first of all, welcome to anybody who is new to the channel. And make sure you guys hit the like button. Now, for some of y'all that don't know what the like button is, that little thing like that, if you can hit that, that would be awesome. And also make sure y'all are following me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and also Twitch. Okay, because I'm going to be streaming on Twitch as well. Now, I'm going to get into this, but we'll be back later because if you guys have been following me, I had kind of told y'all about the situation that I had with the hairstylist. And if any of y'all live in Atlanta, y'all already know what the hairstylists are about down here. There was recently one where a lady said the hairstylist hit her or something. They had got into an altercation. But there is another one that's trending all on TikTok. And I actually know one of the girls who had a major situation with a hairstylist. So she's going to be coming on later. And if y'all live in the Atlanta area and you're looking for a good, legitimate hairstylist who not trying to scam you, who have, who charge and, she's not going to tell you to Zelle or Cash App her. I'm going to bring her up later. Now, for today, now I know y'all heard about this because I actually went and got the lawsuit, which is, let me look at it, I believe it's 156 pages, y'all. Now, I don't know what Joe, or what's his name, Joseph, really did, but the lawsuit spells out a whole bunch of stuff that he allegedly did. Now, with the lawsuit, we can kind of go through it, but the reason why I have Diddy on there, and then I have Tyler Perry, because as y'all know, Diddy is already in court, and possibly can be convicted. I haven't really been following it, but he could possibly be convicted. Then we know about the Tyler Perry situation, and now Joseph, Fat Joe. Similar situation. So let's kind of get into some of these allegations, okay? Now, Fat Joe's former hype man, now we say alleges because although this is a lawsuit, and good morning, everybody, if I didn't say good morning already, we know with lawsuits, people can pretty much file them and say whatever. So we're just going to go through what is being, alleged in the lawsuit. I don't know if what this guy is saying is true or not. But let's start. So Fat Joe's former hype man alleges that Fat Joe, forced him into 4,000, not 4, 5 or 6, 4,000 with the big 4 and the 3 zeros. I just want to know, how does he know how many sex acts? So he said that Fat Joe forced him into 4,000 sex acts. And I'm gonna be honest, when I first saw it, I was like, did he count it? But this is what it says. He forced him into 4,000 sex acts. Yes, Boggs girl. So when you look these people up, you actually got to have their full government name, because then I wouldn't have been able to file the lawsuit. But yeah, it's Joseph. Okay. So get into this. Now, the guy's name is Terrence T.A. Dixon. Now, this guy done filed a lawsuit in federal court, okay? Yeah, but get this, y'all. His lawsuit, this Dixon guy's lawsuit, comes after Fat Joe already sued him. Okay, so he had already been sued for, Fat Joe alleged that he was slandering him and defaming him. Okay. So it looks like Fat Joe had sued him. And then months later, now he's alleging that Fat Joe had did these things, which sounds a little weird. Now, rapper Fat Joe is accused of, now I'm going to have to probably spell out some of these words because y'all know on YouTube, they don't like us to say specific things. Okay. So if I get to spelling stuff and not saying it, y'all got to just pick up on what I mean. Okay. So rapper Fat Joe is accused of forcing his former hype man to engage in thousands of sex acts with women in a $20 million federal lawsuit that also alleges he was underpaid, denied songwriting credits, and threatened. Terrence T.A. Dixon filed the complaint against Fat Joe, members of his inner circle, and Roc Nation. Now, this happened in U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York on Tuesday. Ain't that the same court that Diddy is in? Now, for those of y'all that was like his full government name, yeah, I actually had to, look up his government name because, when you look up these lawsuits, you can't look under Fat Joe. It's literally under their full government name. Okay. So an attorney for Fat Joe, whose real name is Joseph Antonio Cartagena, said the allegations are complete fabrications intended to damage the rapper's reputation. I mean, Fat Joe said that this is a lie. Now that Fat Joe is not, he says these are lies. He's saying it's not true. Now the lawsuit says that Dixon was the rapper's hype man or on stage entertainer, but that he also contributed as his lyricist, his background vocalist, bodyguard, and creative collaborator. And this says from about 2005 to 2022. Y'all can do the math on that. It alleges that Dixon wrote or co-wrote dozens of songs, including Congratulations, Ice Cream, No Problems, and Blackout. I don't really follow Fat Joe a lot, so I'm just reading this. I have no idea what songs these are. Now, the plaintiff contributed lyrics, melodies, vocal phrasing, and conceptual design to these works, substantially shaping their final form as distributed to the public. Now, this is again what the lawsuit says. Dixon claims that he was underpaid, he was denied songwriting credits, royalties, and back-end compensations were deliberately concealed from him, according to the lawsuit. Okay. So, I do know this, guys. Now, with regards to songwriting credits, y'all know how that goes. If a person write a song, you're supposed to shout them out or basically give them credit. That is what this lawsuit is alleging. Now, what this guy Dixon is saying, that Fat Joe controlled Dixon through psychological manipulation, intimidation, and persistent threats. Now, this is what the lawsuit says. It alleges that Roc Nation either knew or should have known about the rapper's behavior, but they took no action. Okay. Roc Nation, which is named as a defendant, did not immediately respond to a request for comment Friday. Now, remember I told y'all the 157-page document, which I have, which comes with a trigger warning at the top, also details allegations of SA. Now, if y'all been on YouTube, y'all already know what SA mean. If you know what SA mean, put it in the chat. It alleges that Fat Joe routinely took women back to his hotel rooms and forced Dixon to engage in sex acts with them. Who does that remind y'all of? Seem like they talking about Diddy or Tyler Perry, because both of these men have been accused of similar things. This is what I'm just drawing this conclusion, okay? Now, sometimes the lawsuit alleges that some of these acts took place in front of members of the rapper's inner circle. Now, according to the suit, Fatjoe frequently arranged and orchestrated these encounters, intentionally creating scenarios designed to reinforce plaintiff's complete submission. The lawsuit accuses Fatjoe of remaining in the room to watch. Y'all, what do that sound like? So now this lawsuit says that Fatjoe was watching. Don't that remind y'all of Diddy? I mean, remember they were saying that Diddy liked to watch the ladies with the men. This is what the lawsuit said. Well, the lawsuit doesn't name Diddy. I'm just kind of correlating it together to say, wow, they're saying in this lawsuit that, you know, Fatjoe was watching watching him, but I'm just drawing a conclusion. Okay, let me get back into it. Okay. Now, listen to this, y'all. And this is where I'm saying we're going to use that alleged banner, because one thing about when lawsuits is filed, y'all know they become public information. So anybody can get the lawsuit, right? But here's the deal. Some of this sounds like it came from the Diddy lawsuit. Now, this guy says that Fatjoe remained in the room to watch and was providing explicit direction and commands. Now, what do that sound like? Explicit direction and commands. Doesn't that sound like the Diddy lawsuits? Or if you have not even read the Diddy lawsuits, doesn't that remind you of what they were saying Diddy was doing? If y'all have, you know, watched or kept up with anything, you know, social media has been saying with regards to the Diddy entire case, they pretty much has proven that Diddy stayed in the room and was watching and telling them what to do. Or if he wasn't telling them what to do, he was motioning to them what to do. So this is what this guy is saying that Fatjoe allegedly did. Okay. Now get this. Dixon is saying he did not want to participate in the acts, the lawsuit says, but he did so solely out of fear of immediate retaliation. Sounds a lot the same, right? During one alleged incident, Dixon refused and Fatjoe canceled his flight home, stranding him with no money. This is what the lawsuit says. Dixon estimated that over 16 years, he was coerced. There go that word, coerced, into more than 4,000 SEX acts to maintain his standing within the enterprise. I'm going to let my dog in before I have to knock her out. Come in, you little problem. Okay. Y'all, this is sounding very much like something we've heard before. Again, we don't even know if this is true, but I'm going to, as we progress into this, we're going to get into who the attorney is. When I tell y'all who the attorney is, y'all going to be like, oh, him. Okay. Now get into this. The lawsuit alleges that Dixon witnessed Fatjoe in SEX relations with, are y'all ready for this? I need a drum roll. With 15 and 16-year-old girls. 15 and 16-year-old girls. Now, we don't know if that's true, but that is what the lawsuit says. 15 to 16-year-old girls. Now, Fatjoe's lawyer, which his name is Joseph as well, said the lawsuit is a blatant act of retaliation and a desperate attempt to deflect attention from a lawsuit that Fatjoe filed in April, accusing Dixon and his attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, of extortion, slander, and defamation. Now, if you guys have been on YouTube for any amount of time, you done heard Tyrone Blackburn's name. They say he is the sleaze of the sleaze of the sleaze attorneys, okay? Yeah, yes, Boggs girl. You know it is Tyrone Blackburn. Tyrone Blackburn. So it just seems like after reading Tyrone Blackburn, not saying that I don't know if this is true or not, but the damn lawsuit just lost every stretch of validity that that it would have had, because don't go get Tyrone Blackburn unless everything you talking about is a lie. So Tyrone Blackburn has a very bad name out in these streets. They call him, and Boggs Girl put it in the chat, ambulance chaser. They call this dude a fraud. It's pretty much what they're saying. They're saying that he tries to swindle celebrities out of money with these salacious lies. Now, I don't know if this lawsuit is a lie, but they just say that Tyrone Blackburn is a joke. And based on what I have saw, now I haven't researched any of this, but I saw some information that said he had been disciplined. Tyrone Blackburn, you probably want to get a new attorney, because his name is always attached to salacious lies. And that is just, the public perception of Tyrone Blackburn. And based on what Fatjoe's attorney is saying, that this is pretty much retaliation, because Fatjoe sued this guy, and then months later, you decided to tell on him. Well, you should have did that in the beginning, right? So Fatjoe's lawsuit says that things ended pretty amicably, like they were fair, nothing was wrong, but they ended in 2019, and that it was not until years later that Dixon alleged that he had been underpaid while he was working with the rapper. Now, make it make sense, okay? You stop messing around with him, not messing around with him like that, but y'all stopped doing business in 2019. And now you just realize that you were underpaid. So something about this just doesn't make sense. And it's kind of bad, because there are victims of abuse, but these people don't always tell the truth. So you really don't know if the person is a victim. I mean, I'm sorry, y'all. We live in a world where people lie and make shit up. And we don't know if Tyrone Blackburn is actually lying or telling the truth. Okay. I'm sorry. We don't know if him or his wait a minute, y'all. We don't know if him or his attorney is telling a lie or telling the truth. I'm on live. I gotta call you back. So there was somebody calling me. So this is the lady that I'm gonna meet with later. But unfortunately, we don't know. We just gonna read it because we don't know. Like, we don't know if what these people saying are true. But in all honesty, this is what they saying. This is what they saying. We didn't just sue a disgruntled former. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry, y'all. So basically what this suit is saying is that this guy Blackburn is trying to extort money. And again, if y'all even Google his name, and we'll do it here, it's just some really bad things associated with Tyrone Blackburn. Tyrone Blackburn couldn't represent me for free, because it just seems like with his name come lies. Like, people just feel like he is a clout chasing attorney. That's what they say. I'm just saying, this is what they saying on the street. Like, if you have a attorney that you can just go Google and all of these things are attached to the attorney's name, would you really want that person to represent you? I wouldn't. We didn't just sue a disgruntled former employee trying to revive a false claim from 15 years ago. We sued the lawyer behind it all. This is what Fatjoe's attorney said. So based on what I'm reading here, it looks like Fatjoe not only sued this former ex-employee, he also sued the lawyer, which is Tyrone Blackburn. Because, like I said, y'all, and this is all online, they said Tyrone Blackburn is just not, he's not serious. He's a very unserious person, okay? Now, the allegations against Fatjoe, they say, are complete fabrications, and they are lies intended to damage his reputation and force a settlement through public pressure. Fatjoe will not be intimidated. So let's kind of go over that, y'all. Now, just imagine, and I couldn't imagine it because it's just not my life. Like, just live in a moment for a minute. Let's say you were somebody that was worth $300 million. Just think that for once. Who knows? It might come true. And somebody said something about you, well, you know that what they said is a lie. But if you worth 300 million and you gave them, like, I don't know, 20 million, it's really not going to put a dent in what you really have. But think about somebody spreading a lie about you that can potentially cost you more money, right? So what a lot of celebrities tend to do is they settle these things. So what Fatjoe's attorney is saying, that this attorney is a liar, and pretty much what his attorney is saying is what they're trying to do is make him settle with them, because who wants these type of statements to be put out in the public? I mean, we saw it with a few people. Now, Diddy was sued, and everybody say he did. I shouldn't say everybody say he did it, but it just seems like, with Diddy's situation, people just really didn't like him. And then, everybody saw the Cassie video and they was like, whatever she said he did. Okay. Now we have the Tyler Perry situation, but each one of these situations are a little different, but they really are, a lot the same, because each one of these men has now been sued for money, being that, Tyler Perry was just sued, what is it, for $260 million. So what they're saying is, a lot of times these people will try to embarrass you and force you into settling. And what Fatjoe's attorney is, this is a shakedown. They're trying to ruin his public perception by saying, hey, if you don't settle, we're going to put this out in the public. And that is what they're saying has happened. Now, in response, this guy Dixon's attorney is saying, which is Tyrone Blackburn, he pretty much said that they grasping for straws. I mean, whatever that means. Well, I know what it means, but again, Tyrone Blackburn's, his record ain't good. Listen to this, y'all. So I don't know where this is going, but Tyrone Blackburn stated that he and his client met with law enforcement, and he states, let's wait and see who they believe. So they trying to get him, they trying to Diddy him, get some charges put on him. The lawsuit says Diddy suffered severe emotional injuries, including chronic anxiety, debilitating fear, and symptoms consistent with post-traumatic stress disorder. He remains in trauma-informed therapy, the suit says. So, y'all, that's just a summary. I just want to caution y'all that is just a summary, because let's kind of, get into, the full, is that it? This is the full lawsuit right here, y'all. Can y'all see my screen? The full lawsuit, I don't know if you all can see in the front. This is 157 page. 157. So this is very, 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 very in detail. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't read it because this is like too long. So it is very detailed, and at some point, I'll get into reading it, but this details the significant, different instances and what they're saying happened. Very, 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 very explicit. Now, the thing that is most, a little bit, this is, I'm not going to read this entire thing, but I did, review it just to look at it. In this lawsuit, there's a lot of stuff that really makes me, think of the Diddy case They talk about RICO in here. They talk about trafficking. They talk about underage girls. I mean, it is very, very explicit. Again, who knows if this is true, but they get very, very much into detail with this, particular complaint. 157 pages. Now, again, when we read what Tyrone Blackburn actually had, not Tyrone Black, well, Tyrone Blackburn's attorney pretty much said that they met with the government with regards to these allegations. Now, if y'all remember, and the reason why I have Diddy on the thumbnail is because the situation with the Cassie lawsuit, what we learned is that Cassie was trying to obviously settle with Diddy. He did not settle. And what ended up happening is the lawsuit was filed. And what everybody is saying is that, hey, if Diddy would have basically paid her, would he not be in a situation that he is in now? Now, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like if Diddy would have paid, he would be in the same situation. I just really feel like it because although, the lawsuit with Cassie was filed, and obviously by it being, filed, it was made public information. I also feel like, at some point, the attorneys, for Cassie, I think they definitely had a conversation with the government. I don't believe that they just read this stuff and said, hey, we're going to charge him. I think it was a effort that is pretty much what they wanted to do. They wanted him to be charged, which is so interesting because I'm not sure why anybody would settle something if they say that they didn't do it. But hey, I ain't worth 300 million. So maybe if I had that kind of money, I would say, hey, we're just going to settle it because I don't have time to deal with it. So who knows? And okay, like you said, Box Girl, it takes bravery to come forward. Who knows? Did he do it? I mean, dang, did he do it? Did he do it? Now, not did he do it like Diddy, but who knows? I mean, there's something that's very consistent, and it's a consistent pattern here. These celebrities, like, why are these people saying this about y'all? Like, everybody couldn't be lying, right? Everybody couldn't be lying because we have three successful Black men who are against charges that are similar. Very, very much similar. Very much similar. The only thing, as I stated with this case against Fatjoe is the attorney. Now, I don't know, why this guy Dixon actually got this, Tyrone Blackburn attorney, but that is who he got. So let's kind of get into some of it. We can definitely, look at some of this lawsuit. Like I said, it is very extensive, 157 pages. I am not going to sit here and read y'all 157 pages. Absolutely not. But let's get into what it's saying. Now, if y'all even look at, let's just go all the way to the top. This lawsuit, if you would bring the Cassie lawsuit up, and if any of y'all read it, it is so very similar to this. Even to the part where it says trigger warning. Now, if y'all read the Cassie lawsuit, it said a trigger warning. So it's very much crafted, very much like that one was, So we have Terrence Dixon, who is the plaintiff because he is suing, Fatjoe. Now, if you guys just joined, what I want to say, because you would have missed this, is what I learned with this particular case is that Fatjoe actually sued him first. And then months later, he went to sue Fatjoe. So Fatjoe sued this guy for defamation, along with some other things that he said that this guy did. Now, Fatjoe alleged that him and this guy, which is Terrence Dixon, obviously they worked together, but at some point they split. They went on about their day, their lives, and then all of a sudden Fatjoe was hit with this lawsuit. So Fatjoe is saying, hey, look, I don't really know where this is coming from. These are lies. None of this happened. But let's kind of get into it. The reason why I want to get into it, because again, if you guys have read the Diddy, lawsuits or the Cassie stuff, it is the exact replica. Okay. It is the exact replica, y'all. Let's get into it. We're just going to get into a few pages because, like I said, I ain't going to read no 157 pages. Now, the plaintiff, Terrence Dixon, aka TA, by and through his undersigned counsel, Tyrone Blackburn Law, honey, the clout chasing attorney, brings this civil action against defendants Joseph Antonio Cartagena, Fat Joe, personally known as Fat Joe, okay? Pete, Pistol Pete. They give all these names, which I never even knew that these names was associated with Fat Joe. But I'm skipping some of this because some of it doesn't even matter to what, the purpose of this video. Now, they are asserting civil claims for violation of, y'all listen to this. I'm going to highlight it. Trafficking Victims Protection, the racketeer influence, and corrupt organizations. I know this is ringing some bells for y'all. And related violations under New York and Florida law, including unjust enrichment, quantum merit, fraudulent concealment, y'all. I know this is ringing some bells for y'all. Fraud, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and money laundering. Now, look, let me go back up. If any of that reminded y'all of the Diddy lawsuit, can y'all just at least put a 1 in the chat? Because I have not followed everything associated with the Diddy case, but I've read the lawsuit and it is really an exact replica. Now, does that necessarily mean that it's a lie? It doesn't necessarily mean that it's a lie, because what if these, these rich folks, these celebrity, what if this is a lifestyle that, that maybe this is something that they do? I mean, we don't know. I mean, but why are these things coming out? Something just ain't right here. Something ain't right. Something isn't right. So they have indicated in here some things that, can get you locked up. Okay. Now, if you guys are just joining, one of the other things that I said that this attorney stated is that they had met with the government. Now, we don't know if that's true. Yeah. And again, Box Girl, is very, very. Do y'all hear the dog? Janaya, get the fuck off my door. What? What's going on in this house? Hold on. Let her back in. The dog is gonna find somewhere else to go for real life. The dog. Anybody need a dog? Because the dog is gonna get up out of here. Would you stop? Jeez. So this is like given, and again, we want to give, because there are victims, but y'all, Boggs girl, the puppy is gonna get the hell up out of here. Did you hear that big beating on the door? Now you're looking crazy. This dog, I don't know why this dog thinks that she is a human. She behaves like a human. She really thinks she works and pays bill around this MF. Like, this is just crazy. But okay, y'all, I done got off. Let me get back on track. So yeah, this really does look like the Diddy stuff. It really, really does look like that. Okay. Now, let's get into the primary statement, y'all, because I don't know. This is a little bit too much for me. Okay, preliminary statement. This action arises from a calculated, sustained, and multi-layered exploitation of a creative partner by an intentional, recognized entertainer, aided by an extensive network of associates and corporate Oh my God, y'all. And corporate entities operating in concert to defraud, intimidate, and financially exploit the plaintiff. This is so much like Diddy. Like, oh my gosh. Like, let me just reread this. This is it seems like, somebody went and took the Diddy lawsuit and just changed some things. Listen to this. This action arises from a calculated, sustained, and multi-layered exploitation of a creative partner by intentionally recognized entertainer aided by an extensive network of associates. Y'all did hear that, extensive network of associates. If y'all remember, they were saying that, Diddy was running this corrupt organization because his workers that he employed, they were doing illegal stuff for him. So this is what pretty much this is saying. Y'all got to get into it. It says his corporate entities was operating in concert to defraud, intimidate, and financially exploit the plaintiff. So that's what I'm saying. This is so much like what we've saw already in the past. It says for more than 16 years, the plaintiff, who is the one that is suing Fatjoe, his name is Terrence Dixon, dedicated his talent, his labor, and loyalty to Fatjoe. Well, it gives his name. We're just going to call him Fatjoe. During that period, the plaintiff acted not only as Fatjoe's hype man, but he also contributed as a lyricist, a background vocalist, his security team, and a creative collaborator. So pretty much he's saying they collab together. This guy maybe, he could have wrote some songs. He had a lot of jobs. I mean, it's saying he was a background vocalist. See, this is why, I love my Black people, but I don't want to work for y'all, because let me just tell you why. I want one title. I don't want to be the security, the lyricist, the creative collaborator, and the background vocalist. That is given ADHD. Who wants to do all them damn titles? Why won't you just give somebody a one title? Let them be the security, let them be the vocalist. Why is it that when you work for Black people, you got to wear 10 hats? I'm not wearing 10. I'm going to wear one, and you can actually give me a half of one, because I'm not doing all that shit. Now, despite the plaintiff's integral contribution, so they're saying this, the guy that's suing him gave a lot. It says that the defendant Fatjoe systematically excluded him from fair compensation, proper attribution. I can't see. Attribution. I'm sorry. I can't talk. Attribution. And substantial royalties and profits generated from his creative labor. So they're pretty much saying that he didn't pay this guy. The guy didn't get paid. He didn't pay him. It says instead, the plaintiff was consistently underpaid, denied songwriting credits, and deliberately concealed from royalties and back-end compensation. So pretty much, he's saying he didn't get paid. Okay. He didn't get paid. He was underpaid. He didn't receive his royalties. He didn't receive his profits. He didn't get his songwriting credits. Basically, like, he didn't get paid. It says that the plaintiff contributed lyrics. Are you trying to be in the video? Like, what's the problem? What, did you want something? You see what I'm saying? This dog act like she got a job, okay? Mind the business that don't pay you. But anyways, so it said that the plaintiff Dixon contributed lyrics, vocals, and creative direction to numerous successful songs that they performed and that Fatjoe monetized, including but not limited to hits, Congratulations, Ice Cream, and Money Over BITCHES. Now, I don't know any of his songs, to be honest. I don't really listen to Fatjoe. If, he would come on, if I'm on the radio, I would probably know it's him, but I don't really know a lot of his stuff. Okay. Dixon's creative fingerprints. This dog is so funny. Come say hi, Coco. Come on. Come say hi. You want to say hi? Come on. Say hi. You want to say hi? Okay, so Dixon's creative fingerprints, his distinctive voice, and stage presence are embedded in multiple critically acclaimed and commercially lucrative albums from which defended. This dog is on my nerves. Fatjoe continues to profit without recognition of fair compensation. Now, how did he find a worker that does all of that? I mean, the man he was the security, he was the vocalist. What? That's too much shit. So ultimately, what they saying is this guy contributed a lot and he didn't really get anything in return, or if he got something in return, it wasn't the right amount. Okay. That's what they're saying. It says that Fatjoe exploited him, extended beyond financial fraud. He employed his industry influence and power dynamics to subject the plaintiff to psychological coercion. Here we go with that coercion word, and economic control, forcing the plaintiff into humiliating situations, including sex acts performed under duress and surveillance. So they got video of this. Oh, well. Whew, this is a lot. Accompanied by threats of abandonment in foreign countries if plaintiff refused. So pretty much what they're saying, if this guy said that he wasn't going to do it, that Fatjoe was leaving his ass out the country. This is what this says. So, this is crazy. So, I mean, I don't think we've heard that Diddy was leaving people in other countries, but I'm just saying, okay. The defendant, Fatjoe, deliberately withheld travel accommodations, misappropriated per diem payments, and exploited the plaintiff's financial dependence and professional loyalty to ensure submission and silence and domination. So basically, what this is saying is, Fatjoe at all costs pretty much forced him to do these things. Well, at least this is what this says. We don't know what part of it is true or if this is true at all. Now, assisting defendant Fatjoe in maintaining his criminal enterprise. Here we go. Criminal enterprise, coercion. This is given Diddy, okay? It says maintaining his criminal enterprise were key associates and enforcers, including the defendant. I guess, they called Fatjoe Pistol Pete's. Okay. And they list all of these different names, I guess, that he goes by. Again, I don't know about any other names with regards to, Fatjoe. Now they get into, talking about threats of physical violence, assaults, intimidation tactics. And it goes on to say that this was the culture in which Fatjoe, operated in, because I guess he wanted you to fear him. You were coerced. Yeah, this is giving Diddy. So what y'all think? What y'all saying in the chat? Because reading this is giving Diddy. Is giving Diddy. Is pretty much giving Diddy. This is giving Diddy. Right. He might as well add the baby oil at this point. Add the baby oil, because I mean, you might as well just add the baby oil. Maybe it'll be a little bit more interesting to read, because this is very it's a lot. It's a lot. And like I said, I'm not going to sit here and read all this crap, but I'm trying to just skip and see what so it just pretty much, y'all, go into the different things. It even gets into, and I was like, are they trying to bring a lot of attention to this? Because it goes into talking about tax fraud, and it even, let's get into line 17, because I was just like, where are we going with this? It says, additionally, the defendants engaged in deliberate tax fraud schemes by submitting intentionally inflated and fraudulent income reports to the IRS. So I'm just like, okay, are they trying to bring like the government into this? Because what do they fake tax returns got to do with anything? But I don't know if they actually did fake tax returns, but according to this lawsuit, it said that they lied on their tax returns. This is what this says. It says significantly overstating the actual compensation the plaintiff received. Now, this deliberate misrepresentation of the plaintiff's income was designed to conceal the defendant's exclusive wage theft. Oh, okay. So now I get it. So what they're saying is, well, this is very interesting because what this guy is saying is, I don't know if anybody's ever had a business before, but I did. So depending on, I don't know what the rules are now, but back, I don't know, well, it's been about 10 years ago, we would pay our business taxes quarterly. And generally, I had a payroll service and they would just pull it from my bank. So let me tell you how that would work. I was an employee of my own company, which means I got a check like everybody else. So what would happen is, we would take it off of your check. Like, let's say your taxes was, I don't know, let's say $500. $500 is what it says. So essentially what would happen is we would take it from your check, but we wouldn't pay the money when we take it. We would take your money from your check and it would literally sit in our account. And then what would happen is the payroll service would pull it out quarterly, if that makes sense. So it seems like what this lawsuit is saying is that they falsified the Internal Revenue reporting, and they said that they paid this guy more because what they were trying to do, yeah, pretty much, Boggs girl. It seems like what they were trying to do was say that, get out and don't come back. Get out. Oh, this dog is on my nerve. Why are you still here? I thought you were leaving. This dog is so irritating. But anyway, so what they were doing was, according to the lawsuit, they were saying that he got paid more because essentially, as I was reading, it said that dude was the security guard. He was the vocalist. He wrote songs. He did all of these jobs. So you would think if you're doing all them damn jobs, you gonna make a lot of money. So essentially what they're saying they did is lied and said that they paid him more than he actually made, which makes me wonder, dude, did you file taxes? Because I know the way that it works, especially, being, at the Internal Revenue, being that I actually worked there. So glad I quit because I was sick of their asses. So unprofessional. But that's a whole nother story. So let me tell y'all how it works. If y'all ever got your taxes held, since we talking about this, okay? If your taxes has ever been held up, I'm going to tell y'all part of the problem, okay? So this guy is saying that they pretty much lied. So this is what makes this a little bit, we got to see if he telling the truth, because let's say I'm going to go file my taxes and at the end of the year I made $150,000, right? So I said that I made 150, right? So I go file my taxes. How much you made? I made 150, right? I'm going to run my, do my taxes, and the IRS is going to reject it. You know why? Because before your taxes are accepted, y'all probably don't know this. It is checked by an internal system. I know y'all really think that people at the IRS be looking at your taxes, rejecting it. No, they don't. They're not rejecting it. It is systematically, it's a system. So if I put on my taxes that I made 150, guess what? Anything that's reported under my social security number is already in the system at the Internal Revenue. So if I put on there that I made 150 and it was reported that I made 250, guess what's going to happen? Chances are it's going to be rejected. Now, you may find in some situations that some people they may slide through, but then you're going to receive a letter saying you underreported your income. So my question is, this guy is saying that they pretty much lied and said he made more to actually adjust for what he didn't get. I would wonder what he filed then at the Internal Revenue, because there are situations where people will say that you made more, because you got to understand there are fraudulent employers out there. Now, I'm not saying, Fatjoe was fraudulent. I'm just saying because, after working for the Internal Revenue, we have employers that will say that they paid people more and they lied. And then we'll have employers that pay people less. So it's different situations. So my concern is, if you file for let's say you file taxes and your stuff gets rejected, you receive a letter from the IRS and they say, no, ma'am, something is not adding up. You can actually dispute it, because there are situations where somebody has reported stuff incorrectly. I'll give you another example. There was a situation where, well, let me go back. So you guys know certain debt, let's say if, certain debt is zeroed out. So depending on what that debt is, if it's zeroed out, they can send you, what is it called? Like a 1099, because since your debt was zeroed out, they can consider it as income. Well, there was a situation where this guy had bought something from a store. I don't know what ended up happening, but something happened that the person did not receive it. They were supposed to credit him. They ended up not crediting him, but essentially they ended up sending the man a 1099. So imagine buying something from a store and something happened to where they need to give you your money back. And I don't know why this guy felt comfortable giving these people his social security number. He gives them the social security number. And I'm just like, what were you thinking? Like, you should never give your social security number to anybody. But if you only getting your taxes done in at the Department of transportation or motor vehicle, those are the only people that need your social security. Because if you go to the Social Security Administration, they pretty much already have it. So this guy had given a store his social security number. Do y'all know what happened to him? Those people sent him a 1099 for the price of whatever it was he had already bought something for, and ended up including it in this man's income. So what ended up happening is, when he tried to do his taxes, he ran into a problem because he reported a different amount, and because he gave somebody his social, they sent him a 1099. So I'm saying it to say, if in fact Fatjoe and his company was saying that this guy made more money than he actually made, it seemed like he would have records of it, because then he would have disputed it through the Internal Revenue Service. And let me just make sure y'all understand, when you dispute something like that, if you say your employer lied, your employer sending out, you're like, let's even say at the end of the year, you get your W-2. Let's say your W-2 say you made 100,000. You'd be like, hell no. My offer letter say that I make 60,000. Like let's say, granted, you haven't worked any overtime, and let's say your check goes into your bank. You can send the Internal Revenue all of that information. They will investigate it. So when he goes on to say that they reported this false information, I'm just wondering, what does he have as proof? Because you're not finna report nothing to the Internal Revenue and said that I got more money and I didn't get it, because now I am responsible for paying taxes on it. So if that part is true, he should have some kind of proof to say, hey, this is my proof. But we just have to see about this, because according to what Fatjoe's attorney is saying, they ain't paying this dude SHIT. They're going to court. And let's get further into it, because now that I feel like I done gave y'all the explanation of how the Internal Revenue works, we're going to get into the W-2s, because it goes on to say more information with regards to that. Now, defendant, I'm going to just call him Fatjoe. Fatjoe's criminal and fraudulent conduct is not speculative. it has been corroborated by firsthand witnesses, recorded phone calls, and documented evidence in the possession of accountant Doe. So I guess they have some accountant who personally handled the financial affairs of Fatjoe. And they confirmed that the plaintiff was intentionally excluded from formal payment systems. I don't know what that means, formal payment systems. W-2s were falsely inflated. Y'all heard me, and reported to the IRS to create a fictitious paper trail. Now, we just spoke about that. If somebody reported false income that you didn't make, you should have an investigation at the Internal Revenue. Like I'm saying, like this is like Internal Revenue is serious, honey, and they don't play. Y'all know, or if you don't know, you heard Peter, that's how he went to prison. Peter, Real Housewives of Atlanta or Cynthiabailey's ex-husband, I know he got on there, and he did this video, but he is low down and dirty because what he did was low down and dirty. Imagine working for somebody, and y'all remember how I explained to y'all when I had my business, they would just take the money out of the account. Imagine paying your taxes. Let's say you done paid $30,000 of taxes, right? You done paid $30,000 of taxes. And now let's say you just overpaid, because there's some people that like to give all their money to the government at the end because they want a big check. See, I'm the opposite. I'm going to probably owe a little something because I'm going to make sure you don't get too much away from me, right? So imagine getting about $20,000 taken out of your check over the year. And then at the end, because you finna get a big fat check for $20,000, you go file your taxes and have them folks tell you ain't got nothing coming because you ain't paid nothing. So that is what Peter did. He was actually stealing those folks' money that it says, okay, I'm paying $500 out of each check, and he was keeping it. And that's why he took his ass to prison, because guess what? The Internal Revenue, they can check that. They can check to see you said you was taking this money out and you kept it. Now that's a low down, dirty dog, to take some money out of somebody's off of their check and then have those people have nothing. So I don't feel sorry for Peter. He needs to go to jail for longer than what they gave him. But all right, let me get back on topic. So what they're saying is that the W-2s were fake, phony, and false. Okay. This is what this lawsuit says. It says that Fatjoe personally collected $600,000 and $200,000 in cash at different times from the UPNYC retail stores. Okay, ball girl, I know you live in New York. What is the UPNYC? What is that? Retail stores. Boggs girl, I see you here. Let me know what that is. I don't know what that is. UPNYC retail stores? I don't know. But they're talking about he personally collected $600,000 and $200,000 in cash. So how do you know that he did not report that on his taxes? Because you would actually have to have his taxes to know if he reported or not. So I don't know. It just seems like they're trying to get the government involved in this. When you go alleging that somebody is a fraud, they're not paying their taxes, they're collecting money, they're doing this. And let me just let y'all know this too. You can actually file a complaint on somebody. If you can literally file a complaint, with the Internal Revenue, and you can don't be filing false complaints. This is not what this is about. I'm saying let's say if somebody is really what? Y'all see this dog? Anybody looking for a dog? Anybody out there looking for a dog? Coco, what is your problem? But anyways, you can actually file a complaint. So isn't it interesting that in this complaint, they're saying that, he is basically collecting all this money there. I mean, you literally can report somebody. But just so y'all know, don't go reporting false reports, because they will look into your report. And if there is nothing on there that seems to be real, they're going to throw it in the garbage. So use your time wisely. Don't be submitting no false reports. You see, y'all see, this dog is getting ready to go. You're not coming back. Get out. Just get out. Oh, she gets on the nerves. She's not coming back. So don't go do any false reports. That's not what I'm saying. So again, they're alleging that Fat Joe took this money and did not report it on his taxes. I mean, that's what they're saying. It says Roc Nation received 10% of all revenue from Fat Joe's businesses, and numerous financial records were fabricated or withheld to avoid paying plaintiff the royalties and compensation he owed. Okay. So I don't know, y'all. This just seemed like that is more vitriol in there. It seemed like they trying to get Joe to be arrested, because it just does. Because if you are, talking about, your abuse, you say you were abused. I don't know what his taxes got to do with it. And that's a whole separate situation. It says, further confirming the illicit nature of defendant's operation, the employees at UPNYC, that's a small sneaker and apparel store. They routinely flaunted luxury goods, including G-Wagons, Range Rovers, Rolexes, and designer. I mean, they can flaunt their stuff. Like, what are you saying? What y'all? Okay, this is. What y'all thinking? What y'all thinking? Oh, Jay-Z might get put into this one. But here's the deal. This lawsuit is giving a lot of stuff. So we just got to see if it's going to get to the end, because my only concern with this lawsuit is the attorney. And from what I've heard about this damn Tyrone Blackburn has been, he's did a lot. So will he last? Will he last as the attorney? So we don't know where this is going to go. Like I said, y'all, this is 157 pages. Let me look again. I think it's like 157. Yeah, 157 pages. I ain't finna read y'all no 157 pages, because a lot of it is just redundant. They say the same thing over and over again. Oh, and thank you, Pamela. Let me look at the likes, y'all. That's something I got to start doing more. Also, being that I'm going to be streaming a lot too on Twitch, y'all got to hit the like button. Why y'all don't be hitting the like button? Y'all mad? Why y'all don't be hitting the like button? If y'all can please hit the like button. Okay. It's just, I'm going to show y'all. I'm about to do it on my phone, because some of y'all be like, what that mean? What the like button? Okay. Let me show y'all. Okay. I'm going to turn the volume down. So if this is my phone, right, I'm going to go into it. I'm going to show y'all. Can y'all see? Okay. So I logged in as if I'm watching this. All y'all got to do is hit that. That's all y'all got to do. Y'all see that? Y'all probably can't see it, but yeah, just hit the like button. So listen, y'all let me know if y'all want me to go through this later, but y'all, 157 pages. We literally would have to do this in like 5 sessions. I'm just gonna be honest. It's a lot of reading. Y'all let me know. Now, don't forget to join later. Again, I'm coming back on here. I have a hairstylist that's gonna come on here and tell y'all what products she offered if you guys are in the Georgia area. Now, I don't live in Atlanta. I am literally, if I were to go to Midtown, given that the traffic was just not, at a standstill, will take me about 30 minutes. So that just gives y'all a kind of indication how far I am from the Midtown area. So, I mean, if you live in the Midtown area and you want to come out, to Suwanee and get your hair done because you want to have a good, pleasant experience. You don't want to deal with the old ratchet hairstylist. You don't want to deal with the old mad ass hairstylist. And you want to have a professional experience with a licensed person who gonna do your hair, who ain't gonna steal your money and ain't gonna be talking crazy to you. Not gonna have a handbook that you gotta sign and get it notarized before you get your hair done. I'm gonna bring her on. Also, if you all I don't know. Let me take y'all somewhere because I don't know. I'm gonna take y'all over to TikTok because something is going on over there on TikTok, and I want you all to kind of see what I'm planning for later on. So give me a moment. Let me just show y'all what I got going on. Like I said, we have been talking about hairstylists. I had shared my experience with a particular hairstylist. And again, if you guys are from Georgia, y'all know these hairstylists ain't about SHIT. Okay. So there's been a situation with somebody that I am familiar with, and she had a horrible situation with a hairstylist. And what she ended up doing is she ended up going to TikTok and she told her story on TikTok. But what we learned is that this hairstylist had been trying to fight her people that come to visit her to get their hair done. She actually discriminated against a woman in a wheelchair. So it's just been a lot. But I'm gonna get into it. I want y'all to see because I'm gonna give y'all an introduction of what's gonna happen later on. Make sure y'all come back later on. I believe, let me see what time I'm coming back on here tomorrow. We are getting started at about 3:30, I believe, if it doesn't change. But let me kind of show y'all because I want y'all to be prepared for later. But let me kind of show y'all what happened to this lady that's coming on.
Hello, guys. I just wanted to get on this bandwagon about how I got my hair done from I am the real Veronica B. Got it done the first time. It was a little issue with the hair. She wouldn't do the hair because I had put a rinse on the hair because I like to wear platinum blonde. End up getting black hair. Okay, cool. No problem. Squash that. So the second time I came to her, she I got some hair, the same hair she told me to get from before. Got that hair. She said, well, I can't use this because it's not the right length. It was a 27 piece, but it was a Tara. It was the 2, 3, and 4, or something like that. So she'd like to use the 1, 2, and 3. So I said, well, this is the same hair you told me to get the last time. She said, no, you didn't look on a booking site and you need to learn how you need. She said, learn. She said, you need to read the policies. I said, well, every time I book with you, I have to read everything all over again. She was like, yeah, because things might have changed. That's how she talking to me. Now this time her daughter's in this small space, quote unquote, small space, can't bring a purse, can't do nothing. So I'm like, yeah, I'm saying to myself, like, how I want your daughter here to see what I got going on underneath this wig I wear, because I suffer from certain parts of alopecia in my head. So of course I'm feeling a little indifferent because I'm not comfortable with what's going on with my hair. So anyway, her daughter in this small space that she don't want nobody else in, not even a purse. So anyway, I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible. I'm gonna have to do a part two. But anyway, so I get in there. So she's like, "Oh, this is not the right hair." Mind you, she still got to cut the hair. So I don't understand why she couldn't just use the hair that I already had. Because guess what? She wanted me to buy the hair that she had. Okay, that's how she get over on you. So when you come in there wrong, oh, I got some hair. So all of a sudden, now she's happy because I have to go ahead and purchase the hair that she has. Mind you, I have my own box of 27 piece, but it's just the 2, 4, and 6. And again, she got to cut the hair, she got to straighten the hair out like she does. Another thing, no problem. But mind you, she's talking to me crazy. So she's saying to me, well, if you don't like, if I'm extra, then don't book with me. Mind you, I done gave her my $50. So I'm like, okay. So everything in me wanted to get up and walk off. Then, so I said, okay, I know this is non-refundable. I done took my hair out. I need my hair done. And again, all good hairstylists, because they do hair good, ain't always a good thing to go with people because they know how to do hair. You got to get up and you got to have some integrity about yourself. You got to have some boundaries about yourself. And clearly, I fault myself for not getting up the second time. The first time I should have never went back to her because she was rude then. The second time I should have walked off then. So I'm sitting there super uncomfortable. So I'm chewing a piece of candy. Hold on, don't chew yet. Hold on, you can't even goddamn chew candy because she got a problem with that. So I'm like, damn. So I said, yeah, I was just chewing because I was trying to make sure that I didn't have, my breath wasn't smelling or whatever if I happen to yarn or whatever may be the case. But I'm asking her a question. So she said, oh, no. You good, but, just hold on with chewing. So I'm not chewing. I'm just got the candy in my mouth and just kind of moving it around. She didn't want me to do that. So I said, red flag number 3. But my slow behind went back because I wanted my hair done because she do it the way I wanted to do it and cool, right? But the whole time I'm being disrespected, but I also disrespected myself by going back to this chick, right? And again, I wasn't going to say nothing, but I had to say something because she needs to be corrected. This lady clearly has a problem, and she's raising her daughter to make her daughter feel like it's okay, it's safe to talk to her clients the way she talks to her clients. And she don't correct her daughter, but she wants to come and correct me. No problem. Got my hair done the second time. Left out. And I was saying, damn, I don't like the experience. So my hair got done. She was mad because she couldn't add an add-on because the glue that she put in my hair, it was all over the back of my hair. So I had to end up cutting the whole back off to get the glue out of there because it was just so much glue. So mind you, at this point, now my third time going to her, which would have been Saturday past, my hair was already short to the back. So when I took the hair out the day before, it was it had grew a little bit in the back. So I said, okay, well, you know what? Let me ask her when I get there tomorrow, which would have been Saturday past 8:00 in the morning, should I get an add-on because the hair did grow a little bit. But mind you, all the back of my hair in the back, I got hair in the back a little bit, but the top is gone. So what are you braiding for $25? But again, I had the kindness to still ask her, should I do an add-on? So she said, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do the add-on because she want money, quote unquote. So I said, okay. So I'm okay. At this point, I just want a peaceful experience. I don't want to have to leave out all upset. Hair cute, but I'm upset because of how she's responded to me. I prayed that morning. I said, God, I just pray that it'd be a peaceful time and that whatever she's asking me to do, that I can do it and not make her quote unquote upset, right? Walking on eggs and pins with her. So I get there and I'm like, okay, cool beans. So I get to the door. I had my purse. So my purse it wasn't big, but it was, I guess big enough. I could have put the purse on my lap. Can't bring the purse in. No problem. Went back to the car, sat back in. Then we talked about the add-on. So she said, oh yeah, go ahead. You do your braid down. Mind you, I'm probably getting like 3 braids. Because again, no hair at the top, about a little bit of hair in the back like this, handful. So I said, okay. So she said, well, since you had to come in and add on the service, there's a $10 fee. I said, she said, oh, don't be me being sarcastic because you insulted me. So I said, yes, because I'm trying to figure out why am I paying an additional $10 when I didn't know I had to have an add-on. She said, I should have added it on anyway, just in case. How am I gonna add something on just in case when I'm not sure how my hair looks underneath this wig, this weave when I took it out? So I'm sitting there again, floored. I'm like, okay, here we go again. So at this point, I'm super uncomfortable. Her daughter's sitting there again in this small space that she don't want nobody in other than your purse, your crossbody bag, and just you or just yourself alone. Don't bring nothing. So I'm saying to myself, okay. So she just talking. So she's sitting down saying, to me, it's an inconvenience because I got to add on a service. I mean, you hold somebody else's time up and this and that. So mind you, you're going to do 3 braids in the back of my hair, and you're not going to even add hair into these 3 braids that you're doing. It's not going to take you no longer than 2-3 minutes to do these braids because again, I don't have hair at the top. Hair is at the bottom. She done sat down and talks to her daughter, began to intertwine and say, well, you know what, I'm not gonna lie. You should have read the policy and this and that and such and such. And I said, well, I did read the policy. I said, but I didn't know that I had to add. So I came in here, and it's not just how my tone is, because I'm still trying to be professional. I'm still trying to make sure that I'm not upsetting myself, which I'm already vexed in my spirit, because again, here's another encounter. You don't like the fact that I didn't like the fact that I had to pay an additional $10 for service that I didn't realize that I had to add. Okay. So I said, what if I didn't have the additional $10 and I got all the money that you need me to have besides the 10? She said, well, don't book then. Okay. So her daughter talking, and so I'm trying to talk to her mama, not the daughter. Again, your daughter's there. I don't know, even though she has license to do it. Because the last time you had her placing tracks in my head, which I should have stopped you then and told her I don't want her doing that. But I feel like it would have been a problem if I would have said something the last time she did, because she was already combative, easily combative, easily offended, easily mad about every little thing. So next thing I know, I said, well, I was speaking to your mom. She said, oh, we're not finna do this. Oh, no, man, we're not going to do this. So I said, well, I'm talking to you, rightfully so. So she didn't like that. So I said, you know what? Every time I come in here, your professionalism is not there. I feel like you don't know how to talk to people. And I said, I spend my money with you because I like how you do hair. I said, but it doesn't make me comfortable to sit here and feel like I'm being attacked off of something that I wasn't.
Last days. Y'all, I am so sorry. I am going to be done with StreamYard. Why did that just stop like that? All right, we were kind of at the end. But let me kind of.
Yeah. Something that could have been easy corrected, right? So mind you, I do leave her tips when I do come in there or whatever. But at the end of the day, you're still being rude, and I didn't like it. So she said, it's people like you that make me say, fuck this shit. And guess what I did? People like me got up and I walked off. And I said, well, can I get my money by $50 back since, I keep messing up with you? She said, no, you're not. You asked for a service. And mind you, at this point, her and her daughter's like they jumping, like they ganging up on me. So at this point, no, I'm not feeling safe. I'm feeling a little fearful. I'm feeling like a little intimidated because I'm in this space, which is you and your daughter. Anything can go wrong. You can say that I came at you. Anything could have went wrong in that space. So I got up and I left. And I said, no, ma'am, I'm not dealing with this. So I got up and I left. And at the end of the day, the video's running out. I'm going to have to do a part 2. I let this run out.
Okay, so y'all, let me kind of give y'all the backstory on this. I actually know her. We had went out for dinner and drinks at this place, and she was telling me about her hairstylist. She didn't really go into it, but she was just saying that I don't know if I'm gonna be able to, keep going to her. She was telling me about the lady's attitude, but she didn't go into it, right? So keep in mind, I know her. She didn't share the story with me. I just happened to, how when you follow people on TikTok, their videos come up, and I ran into her video and I was like, girl, you didn't tell me that. But y'all, this ain't half of it. Y'all need to go over on TikTok. Whoever this stylist is, I am Veronica B. She is trending over there on TikTok because she has done so many things to people that I was in my mind like, hold on. So let me just give y'all another background. So I'm interviewing her later on, and she's going to come on and tell us the story about this stylist. But not only did this stylist do whatever this situation is to her, within the same time frame, she denied a woman in a wheelchair. But I'm gonna have to let y'all hear from her because I cannot tell these people stories. But when I saw it, I was floored. I mean, when I say floored, I was on the floor and couldn't believe what I was actually seeing, because you got to be a special kind of individual to deny a person in a wheelchair. How do you tell a person in a wheelchair that you can do their hair if they lead a wheelchair, but they're in a wheelchair, but you are in a ADA approved place where a wheelchair can go in, but you tell this woman she can't bring her wheelchair? And this is what I'm talking about with these stylists in Georgia. I can't deal with them. I'm not going to deal with them. If I had to deal with them, I would just cut all my hair off and just wear it in a little natural, because there would be no way that I will be able to deal with you, because I'm gonna go upside your head and the police gonna come, because you is not going to be able to do me like this. Now, this lady name is I Am Keisha Green. Beautiful lady. Okay. Now she is on TikTok, but I didn't realize that she was handicapped. I mean, it don't matter, it's handicapped people, it is what it is. But we're gonna get into her story. She went to this same stylist. Keep in mind, these two ladies don't even know each other. They just happen to be on TikTok telling their story. Now, this woman went to this same stylist. But let's get into what she had to say.
Okay, hey TikTok. I wanted to come tell my story, okay? So I live in ATL, and the stylists in ATL, they are completely out of control, out of hand. So I want to tell y'all how I booked this appointment with Veronica B. I'm going to attach the picture and everything at the end, so make sure y'all keep watching. So I booked an appointment with her for a 27-piece quick weave for June the 19th. I booked the appointment on June 12th in the evening. It was kind of June 13th because it was like 12 o'clock, right? It was a little after 12. So I booked an appointment. I paid a $50 deposit. But I started reading her policy, and she starts saying stuff like, don't bring a big pocketbook. Don't bring a laptop. Don't bring a work bag. Like, you can't bring nothing to her salon because her place is small. I'm like thinking to myself, so what you got to do? Come in the salon and sit with your arms crossed, like don't reach, don't touch nothing, because she keeps saying her place was small. So after I booked the appointment, I sent her a DM, and yeah, her profile said, and I'm going to attach that here too. You're going to see all of it. Her profile was like, no phone calls, no DMs, but I sent it anyway because I just wanted to feel like I was going ahead on and just getting clarity on what I needed to do. So I asked her, would a wheelchair be fine, since she's saying, all of these things about limited space or what have you. So she basically replied to me and told me no. She said no large bag, so that means no wheelchair. And she refused to service me, saying that her space couldn't accommodate a wheelchair, which is fine. Your space can't accommodate a wheelchair. Normally, before I book an appointment, I will even look at the person's place to see if it's accessible, if it don't have stairs or something like that. So I watched a couple of her videos of her clients, and I could tell that the place was flat. It was a place where I could roll in. So that's what made me feel okay to book the appointment. I felt like the place was accessible, and the location is actually accessible. I just don't know if she doing hair out of a broom closet or what it is, how the space is so small that she feel like you can't even bring a pocketbook. So she basically responded to me and said, no, like she can't do my hair as a wheelchair user. It's not going to work out. So I was like, okay, that's fine. You should issue me a refund. Mind you, I booked the appointment at 12 at night. I sent the DM at the same time as well as I sent the email. So she basically responded to me in the morning and was like, I said no DMs and I said no phone calls, but you booked this appointment at Free Will. And she spelled will, WHEEL. So I don't know if it's because she just can't spell, but you're going to see she have a lot of typos in her her website booking and all of that, because I'm going to attach all of it. Just keep on watching. So I don't know if she was trying to be sarcastic or smart, and I was basically telling her, well, you saying you can't service me, then you should issue me a refund. And she basically was like, no, she not issuing me a refund because I took up one of her slots and somebody else had it. So I was like, listen, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. You should just issue me a refund, because a lot of what you're doing, you don't even realize it is discrimination. And so I can tell she was replying to me using ChatGTP. Just look at the messages yourself and kind of look at her regular grammar, the way she spelled, and the way that she was speaking to me in the emails using ChatGTP. Anyway, she told me if I wanted war, let's go to war. We could do this. She'd been here before, and so on and so forth. So basically, I called my bank. The bank was like, the charge is still pending, that I should wait till the charge actually posts to my account, and then I will be able to ask for my bank to basically the charges. I don't know why my mind just went blank. So they was going to do that for me. But anyhow, I just feel like living in Atlanta, a lot of the stylists, they get really out of control. So many different rules, regulations, all of these things. Also, just because somebody does hair nice doesn't mean that they're a nice person, or that their intentions is well, or even that they walk in integrity, because this woman, from when I put this post up on Facebook about her, so many people have come forth and was like, she's rude, she's nasty, like she always treats her clients bad, but she does really, really great hair, short hair, at least from what we could see her promoting. It looks like she does really, really nice pixie cuts and things like that. But her customer service and as far as who she is as a person really needs to be checked. So I'm actually sharing this post to bring awareness. Number one, she said, I knew my disability before I booked the appointment. Just the simple fact that I'm in a wheelchair, baby, that don't mean that I can't keep it cute. Face card, never decline. Don't get it wrong, baby. I might be rolling in peace, but baby, I'm gonna always take care of me. So the simple fact that a person is in a wheelchair does not mean that they don't need to be serviced and that they shouldn't be treated like a human being, okay? So you could have just said, I don't have the ability to accommodate you, so I'm gonna go ahead on and refund you, and I hope that you can find somebody that can do your hair. But no, for her, she was being money hungry. She was being greedy. She said she want to keep my deposit. I'm talking about somebody that I emailed within minutes of booking this appointment, and she just was so disrespectful. I'm so glad that my spirit is strong. Like, my spirit belongs to God, so ain't no human being walking, rolling this earth is gonna break me, because baby, I'm built for tough for what I roll in. So it just was all mind-blowing to me. Like, she was trying to bring me down. She was just talking to me so harsh and so nasty and so tough. So I'm gonna tag her. I want y'all to know who she is. She works in Marietta here in Atlanta, and the world needs to know that there's people like this out here, and she needs to learn to handle people better. So I'm here to make this message clear, and she needs to be taught a lesson. Baby, the $50 ain't even worth what you gonna be dealing with and how God gonna be dealing with you. You'll figure out later. None of it was worth it to you, and I really tried to spare you.
Okay, so let me kind of bring some context. The woman that I just showed y'all, they don't even know each other. They just happen to both be on TikTok, and they were talking about the same woman. Now, let me I'm trying to get Miss Keisha, but what I've been told is she's out of town. Now, somebody that I know is meeting with her when she comes back next week. So hopefully I can get her. But I have the other woman that's coming on here later. Now, let me kind of give y'all a little update to what's going on with Keisha. Okay. So since their post is viral on TikTok, everybody is talking about it. The lady has now refunded her $50. Y'all know what that remind me of? My situation. If y'all was following me, you know, I went and got my hair done, and the lady just, you know, I guess she didn't want to do my hair. And she decided she wanted, you know, she was going to at least try to keep my $50. But it didn't work. She ended up giving it back. But if y'all remember, I had to call the police. I had to file a complaint, and all of that. But you really shouldn't have to do all that. Just give people their money back. So with this girl, Keisha, let me tell y'all what has happened thus far. Now, y'all go on over to TikTok and follow her. Since then, this lady has went and got a restraining order against this woman. So if y'all know anything about how restraining orders work, the only way you can get a restraining order on somebody is if they direct say they gonna beat your ass or something that they're doing that put your life in jeopardy. This woman has not done anything to put this woman's life in jeopardy other than to come on social media and tell about her experience. Now, what we were saying is this stylist had to go to court and lie, and say that this woman, Keisha, did whatever she said she did. So it looks like, and I'm going to show y'all, she put up a post where they served her with a restraining order, y'all. So this is a post that she put up. So the crazy stylist, apparently she mad because everybody is talking about her. She went, I don't know what she told the police. I have not saw the restraining order, but Keisha is saying that this woman had her served with a restraining order. So hopefully, I know she's going to go to court, and that is still unfolding. But the bottom line here is these stylists in Georgia, they need to sit down somewhere. Like, this is just too much. This is too much, and they need to be shut down. They need to be closed down. Keisha has did a lot. Keisha has called the state on this woman. Found out that the lady, again, is not licensed. It seemed like these stylists that act like this are the ones without the license. Found out that she's a master barber. So what she is licensed to do is cut men hair. So this lady is not licensed. Keisha is possibly going to file a lawsuit against her because she's a person with a disability in a wheelchair, and you send her something telling her you really ain't gonna do her hair because she in a wheelchair. What kind of idiot are you? So, like I said, I want to bring Keisha, on, but I understand she's out of town. But let's get into this raggedy hoe. I am the real Veronica B. So y'all screenshot it. Let everybody know that not to go to this hoe. Okay, she's a dusty, dirty, no license, and when I bring the lady that I know on, she gonna tell y'all about different experiences that she had with this lady. And I asked her, I said, girl, what is wrong with you? Like, I get it. You want your hair to look cute, but there is no way that I'm gonna sit in anybody's chair and they finna be talking crazy to me, because it's just not gonna work. I'm gonna get up and I got to go, because if I don't, I'm gonna reach out and touch you. So you just not gonna be disrespecting me, talking crazy to me. So y'all know how we are as women. We want our hair to look cute. That's just how we are. And I could imagine how it feels especially if you got alopecia, you got some bald spots, that would be embarrassing for me, as a person. So I can understand, why, you would probably pick her, because you look at her page, she got some good pictures. I mean, I would pick her if I wore a short hairstyle. I would pick her. But listen, it's a lot of stories. There is another lady who had an experience with her. She said she had to pull her pow out on this woman. Now, this is simply this is crazy. I ain't never heard of nothing like this. Another lady said that she went to get her hair done by this woman. She said the woman was being disrespectful to her from the beginning. The lady said that she drove 2 hours to get her hair done. She said, and then the woman was just going off on her, telling her she didn't bring some kind of glue. And, the lady didn't understand why the stylist was being so disrespectful. And to ultimately, the lady was like, well, listen, I'm just going to leave. She asked the woman to just, refund her, deposit, and said the lady said no. Something happened where the lady felt like she was in fear, because allegedly what they're saying is she has her daughter in there. So I guess her and her daughter kind of team up and go against the clients, which is crazy, because I'm like, what kind of idiot are you? People are booking you for your service, come to your salon, and you treat them like shit. So whoever this other person is had to pull her pow out because she felt like she was, in danger. So this is crazy. I just kind of wanted to give y'all a little snippet of what to expect later on. So like I said, I'm going to bring her on. She's going to tell about her experience. If y'all know anybody that go to this lady, maybe she ain't got to them yet, I don't know, but this lady is something wrong with her. I told, when the woman that I know was explaining it to me and telling me that different instances, I said, it seemed like this lady is like possessed by the devil or something, because she had talked to herself, probably 5 or 6 different people who saw her post and was bringing their story. And it's crazy that, you're doing hair and you literally finna get into fights with the people that's coming to get their hair done. I just didn't understand that. And for little reasons. And what I learned too, in each situation, she told the people she was keeping their deposits. And I'm just like, I feel like that is something that she does. And if, she got an attitude, she's just going to keep your money. So y'all make sure y'all come back this afternoon. Like I said, I'm just going to go live, where she's going to tell her story and about the different experience that she had with this lady. So Pamela, with regards to can she be reported? So the previous lady that I just showed you, the I am Keisha Green, Keisha did report her. And this is what I tell people. When we have a bad experience, generally we just go to somebody else. That's the problem. Nobody has reported. They're just pretty much has, went to either somebody else or just probably went back to her. So she actually has been reported this time. But what she's done, what I'm hearing is she went back, and the lady that actually reported her to the board, she actually filed a restraining order, which is crazy. So we'll kind of see how that's going to work out. So since you brought it up, so I do have something else I want to show you, because you asked about can she be reported? And actually Keisha did a call and she recorded it where she actually called the state board. So just give me a moment. Let me go ahead and share this. So it looks like she has been reported, y'all, but let's kind of get into this. And since you asked, let me get into it. And this is coming from I am Keisha Green on TikTok.
Of Georgia Secretary of State Professional Licensing Boards Division, your call may be monitored or recorded for quality assurance purposes. For additional information, you may visit our website, sos.ga.gov. Thank you. Please listen to the following menu as our options may have changed. To speak with a representative regarding the Georgia Board of Nursing, press 1. For cosmetology, barbers, we are currently experiencing higher than normal call volumes. We are working hard to answer all calls in the order they are received. If you have already requested a callback, please be assured that you are in our callback queue and you will be receiving a callback in the order that it was received. There is no need to request an additional callback, as this will place you back in the queue and will result in multiple callbacks. We sincerely appreciate your patience and understanding. Please press 1 to be disconnected as you were already placed in our callback queue. Please press 2 to be placed in our callback queue. We are currently experiencing higher than normal call volumes. Losing your spot in the queue.
Okay, y'all, give me a moment. So this isn't the actual call. Let me go find the call. She actually called the board. I think it's this one.
Pick up. Hi, good afternoon. Yes, this Georgia State Board. Hi, I was calling to inquire about how to file a complaint. Yes, the stylist is here in the Georgia area, Marietta. Yes, I understand that I have free will to file.
Okay, y'all, let me see if I can find it. There was a call that she did with I can't find it. Where is it? Maybe she removed it. I don't know. So I was just trying to answer your question. She actually did call the state and she did file a complaint. So there's a few things that I know that she's did. I know she has filed a complaint with I think it's like disability. So there's a few things going on. I don't know if she's going to file a lawsuit, but in fact, she was discriminated against based on a disability. So that's a whole thing in itself. Now, with regards to, the place that regulates people that do hair, she does not have a license from what, what's her name? I am Keisha. What is it? I am Keisha Green. Based on what she said, because I didn't look it up. Keisha said that she did not have a license, but she did have a license as a, if you got sons or, to go to a barber. So she does, she can cut hair, but not necessarily chemical weave. She doesn't have a license for that. So like I said, y'all come back later on. Actually, I'm about to put up the thumbnail and everything for that. And yeah, Pamela, I agree. We want to look good, but I can't be treated like that. So I bounce at a minute. I don't do the disrespect. You cannot talk to me crazy. I'm not going to do it. And I'm going to hurry up and leave because I'm probably going to reach out and touch you. I'm just going to be honest because, you know, heal me, Lord, from that, because I'm not going to be able to do it. If you disrespect me, I'm probably going to hit you before I realize what you did. So I can't do that. I can't do it. But just spread the word, because this lady, what is her name? What's her name? I am Veronica B. And if y'all go over on social media like TikTok has its own algorithm, honey, and they are giving it to her over there. Like they are giving it to Miss I am Veronica B. Yeah, she is. They giving it to her. Right. She can't alter the SCAP. There may be no recourse this route as she is unlicensed. So yeah, like I said, I'm trying to get Miss Keisha, but like I said, from what I understand, she's out of town or something. So I'll see y'all at, I think at 3:30. I'll see y'all at 3:30, which is in another couple of hours. See y'all later.